The night my husband disappeared without saying a single word, leaving behind nothing but signed divorce papers and an empty house. I thought I had lost him forever, but 6 months later, I saw him again in a place I never expected. And what he told me that day made me question everything I believed about my own family. Asterisk, before I tell you what really happened, make sure you subscribe to the channel and tell me in the comments where you are watching from, because this story is not just about love or betrayal. It is about truth, sacrifice, and the kind of decisions that can destroy a family from the inside. Asterisk, my name is Victoria Hale. I am 35 years old, and according to the world, I am a successful businesswoman who has everything: wealth, power, and a name that opens doors everywhere. But behind that image, my life has always been controlled by expectations that I never chose for myself. Asterisk, I was born into a powerful family where reputation mattered more than happiness, where every decision was planned, and where the people around you were judged not by who they were, but by what they could offer. Asterisk, my husband, Ethan, never fit into that world. And maybe that was exactly why I loved him, because he was real in a way that everything around me was not. Asterisk, he was calm, kind, and honest, the kind of man who would rather fix something with his own hands than replace it, the kind who noticed the smallest details, and the kind who made even ordinary moments feel meaningful. Asterisk, but from the very beginning, my father never accepted him. Asterisk, he never said it directly, but I could see it in the way he looked at Ethan, in the way his tone changed whenever he spoke about him, like he had already decided that my husband did not belong in our world. Asterisk, and maybe that was where everything started to fall apart. Asterisk, because no matter how much I tried to keep my personal life separate from my family's expectations, those two worlds were always on a collision course. Asterisk, we had been married for 6 years, and we had a daughter, Sophie, who had just turned 5, and for a while, I believed that love would be enough to protect us from everything else. Asterisk, I was wrong. Asterisk, the night everything changed started like any other. I came home late after a long day of work, expecting to hear Sophie's laughter or Ethan's voice somewhere in the house, but instead, I was greeted by a silence that didn't feel normal. Asterisk, I called his name. Asterisk, no answer. Asterisk, I walked through the house slowly, my heart starting to beat faster with every step, until I reached the living room and saw something that made my entire body go cold. Asterisk, a white envelope. Asterisk, placed neatly on the table. Asterisk, my name written on it in his handwriting. Asterisk, for a moment, I just stood there staring at it, as if my mind refused to accept what I was seeing. And then slowly, I opened it. Asterisk, inside were divorce papers. Asterisk, signed. Asterisk, final. Asterisk, my heart started pounding as confusion and panic rushed through me, because nothing about this made sense. Not the papers, not the silence, not the idea that Ethan would ever leave like this without even speaking to me. Asterisk, I searched the entire house. Asterisk, his clothes were gone. Asterisk, his phone was off. Asterisk, and then I noticed something that made everything worse. Asterisk, Sophie's small suitcase was missing. Asterisk, my daughter was gone too. Asterisk, that was the moment panic truly set in. Asterisk, I called him again and again. Asterisk, nothing. Asterisk, I contacted his friends. Asterisk, no one knew where he was. Asterisk, hours passed, and the silence only grew heavier. Asterisk, and in that moment, standing alone in a house that no longer felt like home, I realized something that terrified me more than anything else. Asterisk, my husband hadn't just left. Asterisk, he had disappeared. Asterisk, and I had no idea why. Asterisk, 6 months had passed since the night Ethan disappeared. And although the world around me had slowly returned to its normal rhythm, my life never truly did. Because when someone leaves without an explanation, they don't just take their presence with them. They take your peace, your trust, and every answer you thought you had about your own life. Asterisk, I tried to continue like nothing had changed. Attending meetings, making decisions, sitting across boardroom tables with the same confidence people expected from me. But inside, I was still stuck. In that night, still standing in that silent house, still staring at those divorce papers that never felt real. Asterisk every morning. I woke up hoping there would be a message, a call, anything that would finally explain why he left. But there was nothing, just the same silence repeating itself day after day, slowly turning into something heavier than grief. Asterisk, because grief at least gives you closure. Asterisk, this did not. Asterisk, this was a question with no answer. Asterisk, and yet, something inside me refused to believe that Ethan had abandoned us. Not like that. Not without a reason. Not without even trying to explain. Asterisk, that belief was the only thing that kept me searching, even when everyone around me had already accepted a different version of the truth. Asterisk, my father never stopped reminding me of it. Asterisk, he left because he wanted more. He would say in that calm, controlled tone of his, as if repeating it enough times would make it real. Asterisk, men like him don't stay where they feel small. Asterisk, but every time he said those words, something inside me resisted. Because the man I knew was not someone who measured his worth by money or status. He never cared about those things, not once in all the years we were together. Asterisk, still, weeks turned into months, and with no evidence to prove otherwise, even doubt started to creep in, quietly, slowly, like a shadow that refuses to leave. Asterisk, until the day everything changed. Asterisk, it was supposed to be a routine visit. Nothing more than a scheduled inspection at one of our largest construction sites. On the edge of the city, a project my company had invested millions into, something that required my attention, but not my emotions. Asterisk, the morning felt ordinary. Asterisk, almost too ordinary. Asterisk, the sky was clear. The air filled with the distant sounds of machines, metal clashing, workers calling out to each other as they moved through the site carrying tools and materials. Everything exactly as it should be. Asterisk, I stepped out of my car wearing a simple business suit, a white safety helmet placed securely over my hair, and for a moment, I allowed myself to focus only on work, to push everything else out of my mind. Asterisk, the site manager greeted me with a polite smile and immediately began explaining the progress, walking beside me as we moved deeper into the construction area, pointing at structures, discussing timelines, everything normal, everything controlled. Asterisk, but my mind wasn't fully there. Asterisk, because even after 6 months, part of me was still searching. Asterisk, still hoping. Asterisk, still looking for a face that refused to disappear from my memory. Asterisk, we walked past rows of unfinished walls, exposed beams, and piles of cement bags stacked neatly in corners, the ground uneven beneath my feet, dust rising slightly with every step, creating a haze that made everything look distant. Asterisk, and then, asterisk, I stopped. Asterisk, completely. Asterisk, my heart skipped so suddenly it almost hurt. Asterisk, across the site, a man was lifting a heavy bag of cement onto his shoulder. His movements slow but steady. His clothes worn out, covered in dust. His posture slightly bent as if the weight he carried was not just physical. Asterisk, something about him felt familiar. Asterisk, to familiar. Asterisk, I stared. Asterisk, trying to understand why. Asterisk, and then he turned. Asterisk, our eyes met. Asterisk, and in that single moment, everything inside me froze. Asterisk, it was him. Asterisk, Ethan. Asterisk, for a second, my mind refused to accept it, as if reality itself had broken, because the man I had been searching for, the man I believed had abandoned me, was standing right there in front of me. Not in a place he belonged, not in a life he used to live, but here, as a construction laborer, Asterisk, my breathing became uneven. Asterisk, Miss Hale? The manager asked, confused by my sudden stop. Asterisk, but I didn't respond. Asterisk, I couldn't. Asterisk, my body had already started moving. Asterisk, fast. Asterisk, my heels pressed into the rough ground as I walked toward him, each step heavier than the last. My eyes locked on him, afraid that if I looked away, he would disappear again like he did 6 months ago. Asterisk, closer. Asterisk, closer. Asterisk, my heart pounding louder with every second. Asterisk, Ethan adjusted the weight on his shoulder, and as he fully turned, his expression changed instantly when he saw me. Shock spreading across his face, his entire body going still as if time itself had stopped. Asterisk, the cement bag slipped from his shoulder and hit the ground with a heavy sound. Asterisk, workers nearby turned to look. Asterisk, but I didn't notice them. Asterisk, I didn't care. Asterisk, all I could see was him. Asterisk, 6 months of pain. Asterisk, 6 months of silence. Asterisk, 6 months of unanswered questions. Asterisk, standing right in front of me. Asterisk, before I could stop myself. My hand moved. Asterisk, the sound of the slap echoed sharply in the air. Asterisk, gasps followed. Asterisk, but Ethan didn't react. Asterisk, he didn't step back. Asterisk, he didn't raise his hand. Asterisk, he just stood there, looking at me, his eyes tired, hollow, carrying a weight I didn't understand yet. Asterisk, why? I demanded, my voice shaking between anger and something deeper. Asterisk, why did you do this? Asterisk, people had stopped working now. Asterisk, watching. Asterisk, listening. Asterisk, but I didn't care about any of it. Asterisk, you disappeared. I continued, my voice rising. You took our daughter. You left those papers like I meant nothing, and you expect me to stand here quietly? Asterisk, he stayed silent. Asterisk, that silence made everything worse. Asterisk, I searched for you, I said, my voice breaking slightly despite myself. For 6 months, Ethan. I had no idea if you were alive or. Asterisk, my words faded. Asterisk, finally, he spoke. Asterisk, Victoria. He said quietly. Asterisk. Don't. I cut him off immediately, my hands shaking now. Asterisk, don't say my name like nothing happened. Asterisk, he looked down for a moment, then back at me. Asterisk, you shouldn't have found me, he said. Asterisk, those words hit harder than anything else. Asterisk, what does that mean? I asked. Asterisk, he glanced around at the workers watching us. Asterisk, not here. He said quietly. Asterisk, here. I replied firmly. Asterisk, for a moment, he studied my face, as if realizing I wasn't leaving without answers. Asterisk, then he took a slow breath. Asterisk, and everything changed. Asterisk, your father came to see me the night before I left. Asterisk, my heart stopped. Asterisk, my father? I repeated. Asterisk, Ethan nodded slowly. Asterisk, he didn't come alone. Asterisk, a cold feeling spread through my chest. Asterisk, he brought 2 men with him. Ethan continued, his voice steady but heavy, and he made something very clear. Asterisk, my throat felt dry. Asterisk, what did he say? Asterisk, Ethan looked directly into my eyes. Asterisk, he told me that if I didn't disappear from your life, he said quietly, he would make sure our daughter would never be safe again. Asterisk, for a moment, I couldn't process the words. Asterisk, they didn't feel real. Asterisk, why didn't feel real? Asterisk, what? I whispered. Asterisk, he said I was a stain on your family name. Ethan continued, that I was ruining his reputation. Asterisk, my heart started racing. Asterisk, he wanted you to marry someone else. He added. Asterisk, the same memory echoed in my mind. Asterisk, you can change that. Asterisk, and if you didn't leave? I asked slowly. Asterisk, Ethan didn't hesitate. Asterisk, he said Sophie would disappear. Asterisk, the world around me went silent. Asterisk, the noise. Asterisk, the people. Asterisk, everything faded. Asterisk, I thought leaving was the only way to protect you both, Ethan said quietly. Asterisk, and in that moment, Asterisk, the truth hit me so hard I could barely breathe. Asterisk, what? I whispered. Asterisk, he said I was a stain on your family name. Ethan continued. That I was ruining his reputation. Asterisk, my heart started racing. Asterisk, he wanted you to marry someone else. He added. Asterisk, the same memory echoed in my mind. Asterisk, you can change that. Asterisk, and if you didn't leave? I asked slowly. Asterisk, Ethan didn't hesitate. Asterisk, he said Sophie would disappear. Asterisk, the world around me went silent. Asterisk, the noise. Asterisk, the people. Asterisk, everything faded. Asterisk, I thought leaving was the only way to protect you both, Ethan said quietly. Asterisk, and in that moment, asterisk, the truth hit me so hard I could barely breathe. Asterisk, for a few seconds. After Ethan's words, I couldn't move, couldn't think, couldn't even understand how the man I had trusted my entire life could be capable of something so calculated, so cold, and so destructive that it forced the person I loved to disappear just to protect our family. The noise of the construction site slowly returned around me, the sound of machines, distant voices, movement, but inside my mind, everything was still, frozen in that one moment where the truth had finally revealed itself. My father did not just disapprove of my husband. He destroyed my life. I looked at Ethan again, really looked at him this time, at the exhaustion in his eyes, at the weight he carried not just in his body, but in his silence. And suddenly, all the anger I had felt toward him for 6 months began to disappear, replaced by something far heavier. Guilt. You should have told me, I whispered, my voice barely steady. Ethan shook his head slowly. I couldn't risk it, he said quietly. He made it very clear that if you knew, things would get worse. I clenched my hands, trying to process everything. Where is Sophie? I asked quickly. Ethan's expression softened slightly. She's safe, he said. I left her with my sister, somewhere your father wouldn't think to look. Relief hit me so suddenly it almost made me weak. My daughter was safe. That was all that mattered. But something else was rising inside me now, something stronger than fear, stronger than confusion. Anger. Not at Ethan. At my father. All these months, he watched me suffer, watched me search, watched me break piece by piece, and he said nothing. He stood there pretending to care while hiding the truth that he himself had created. I took a slow breath, trying to steady myself. He thinks he controls everything, I said quietly. Ethan looked at me carefully. Victoria, don't do anything reckless. I met his eyes. For 6 months, I believed you abandoned me, I said, my voice stronger now, more certain, and now I know the truth. He didn't respond. He didn't need to, because he could see it in my expression. I wasn't going to let this go. That same evening, I made several phone calls, and for the first time in 6 months, I stopped searching, because now I knew exactly where to go. 1 week later, my father hosted one of his usual gatherings at our family mansion, a night filled with influential guests, business partners, relatives, and people who admired him without ever truly knowing who he was behind closed doors. The house was filled with light, music, and conversation, expensive suits, polished smiles, and the kind of atmosphere that looked perfect from the outside. Exactly the kind of image my father always cared about. When I arrived, the room slowly quieted. People turned to look at me. Some smiled politely. Others whispered. My father stood near the center of the room, a glass in his hand, confidence written all over his face, as if nothing had ever gone wrong. Victoria, he said, smiling as I approached. You're finally here. His eyes studied me for a moment. I assume you're ready to move forward. I didn't answer. I simply walked closer. The room grew quieter. Something in my silence made people pay attention. My father raised his glass slightly, turning toward The guests. I was just telling everyone, he said, that my daughter will soon make a decision that will benefit our family's future. A few people nodded. Some smiled. They had no idea what was coming. I took a slow breath. Actually, I said calmly, I have something to say. The tone of my voice changed the atmosphere instantly. My father's smile faded slightly. What is it? He asked. I looked around the room. Every face watching. Every eye waiting. Perfect. For the past 6 months, I began, my voice steady. I was told that my husband left because he wanted more money, more status, more than what I could give him. A few people exchanged glances. My father's expression tightened. Victoria, he said quietly, but I didn't stop. I was told he walked away from his family. I continued, that he abandoned us without a reason. The room was silent. Now. No one moved. No one spoke. I turned my head slowly and looked directly at my father. But that's not what happened. A wave of whispers spread through the room. My father stepped closer. That's enough, he said under his breath. But I continued. You threatened him, I said clearly. The words echoed. Sharp. Unavoidable. The room reacted instantly. Confusion. Shock. Disbelief. You told him that if he didn't disappear, I continued slowly, you would make sure his daughter would never be safe again. My father's face lost its color. That's a lie, he said quickly, but his voice lacked the confidence it once had. I stepped closer. The man you called worthless spent 6 months working as a laborer just to protect his family, I said. Gasps spread across the room. People began whispering louder now. Some stepped back. Others stared at my father in disbelief. You destroyed my marriage, I said, my voice firm. You made me believe my husband betrayed me. My father clenched his jaw. I did what was necessary, he said. No, I replied calmly. You did what benefited you. Silence. Heavy. Uncomfortable. Then slowly, I removed a ring my father had given me years ago. A symbol of everything he believed in, power, control, image. And I placed it on the table in front of him. You can keep your empire, I said. The room reacted instantly. Shock. Whispers. Uncertainty. My father stared at me, unable to hide his disbelief. You're being emotional, he said. I shook my head. No, I said quietly. I'm finally being honest. I took a step back. I choose my family. The words hung in the air. Final. Unchangable. My father's voice rose behind me. If you walk out now, don't expect to come back. I paused for a moment, but I didn't turn around because for the first time in my life, I wasn't afraid of losing anything he could take from me. Then I walked away. Outside the mansion, a car was waiting. Ethan stood beside it, clean clothes, but the same eyes, still carrying everything he had been through. When he saw me, uncertainty crossed his face. I stopped in front of him. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then I said softly, Are you ready to go home? He looked at me, surprised. Home? He repeated. I smiled slightly. Wherever we go together. For a second, he said nothing. Then slowly, he nodded. And in that moment, I realized something simple but powerful. The man my father called worthless was the only man who never gave up on us. The man who lost everything just to protect his family. And as we drove away that night, leaving behind the mansion, the power, and the man who thought he controlled everything, I finally understood something I wish I had seen earlier. Sometimes the strongest people are not the ones with power. They are the ones who sacrifice everything and still choose love. So if this story meant something to you, make sure you subscribe to the channel and tell me in the comments what you would have done in my place. Because sometimes the truth doesn't just change your life. It shows you Who really matters?